Right, guys, good evening. Welcome to the Wednesday night, 7 o'clock, KBB Supply Services stroke KBB Academy update. It's going to be fairly short tonight, mainly because I want to keep it punchy for a number of reasons. We've got the clinic next week. It's the end of the year. I know everyone's really busy. It's that crazy time of year where we're all head down, arse up. So I think we'll keep this one probably on a record short for this sort of stream. I want to just say welcome to new Academy members because there is quite a few coming in. I'm really pleased to see you here. Glad your websites are going live if you're a bit further down your journey. You know, there's loads that I'm going to talk about over the next few weeks with the Academy, especially the event. So something I want to talk to you about is the event. So the message to register for the event is going to get sent out shortly. So please register for this event. I know that I always say this is the most important event and all the rest of it, but the October event, the one we did last year, obviously is important. It is obviously the most important in terms of, you know, planning and whatnot. But this event in January is a bit of a watershed event. It's something where there's a lot happening at the moment, which I haven't told you all about. But you're gonna want to be at the January event. I don't want to let the cat out the bag because you know what I'm like, something fucking jinx something. But there's a lot of reasons to come to the January event. One, if you're doing well, you need to do better. If you're not doing well, you definitely need to do better. The event, whatever situation you're in, will always push you forward. It will always push you forward. And then we've got the inner circlers who have been invited to that meeting on the following Monday, where, well, obviously we'll pick up from the event and move into the inner circle content on the Monday, which is a different world. Again, way more high-level strategic coaching for people that are way further down in the journey than obviously people that are just starting, but doesn't necessarily take people long to get there. There's people in inner circle that have only been in the academy, well, taking it seriously in the academy, shall we say, for a few months. So, you know, what I'm saying here is there's a broad spectrum of people now where we've got trade partners that are sort of dipping in, dipping out. Whether the penny's dropped or not, or whether the academy doesn't suit them, I don't know. But the point being is that we've got that, you know, beginner level. Then we've got KBB beginners, so in the academy, silver members, and what will be announced shortly is a gold standard membership, which is not extra cost, it's recognition. And then obviously you've got inner circle. So the structure of the academy is going to change a bit next year. It's going to give you something to aim at, because we've never really give you something solid to go, that's where you need to aim at, you know, in this whole community. So, you know, and you know, I'm not saying everybody needs to shoot for the stars. I'm just saying that, you know, we've never really give you options and opportunities, but we've not sort of gone, right, you know, if you want to be nationally recognized, this is where you need to get to. Whereas next year, there's definitely going to be that roadmap. It's going to be in place hopefully this week, but all announced properly at the event. So the event is going to be really important this time in January because, you know, just think about it. It's only 5 weeks away, something like that. And that's frightening when you think about the October event was what, nearly 2 months ago now? How fast does that go? You know, can you believe, those of you that were at that event, that it's been 2 months since we were there? And it's really weird actually, because you've all been a little bit more quiet since that event. And I know that it's for good reasons. You know, I know that there's good reasons why you're being quiet. Obviously, there's still issues to sort out always and things that need correcting, but it's just really interesting. But I think for the people, especially the people that were at that event and have taken action since that event, are going to find the January event like, oh my God, like I am ready for this. Do you know what I mean? Because I think the academy is going to mature a lot in 2026. I know for a fact that that's going to happen. And what I mean by mature is it's going to be recognized in many, many other places. It's going to be seen by everybody else in the industry as something that even they weren't expecting. It's changing people's lives in ways that we didn't even think it would. Well, as you know, I say it, we hoped it would, but like with any business, when you first start, it's all built on fucking hope, innit? And we're fortunate enough that the hope has come true, you know, for the people that are part of it. You know, they have had life-changing experiences now, many, many times over. And, you know, that's good for us, obviously, because it means that we can continue doing what we do and keep innovating the service, keep expanding the you know, the coaching and the support that's needed to keep your businesses and you safe, because that is ultimately my job. Isn't to deliver the day-to-day in this business anymore. It's to make sure that I'm, you know, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 10 steps ahead of where your journeys are going. And, you know, that's what I'm always trying to do anyway for trade partners alike. We're always trying to make it easier for people to do business. You know, you'll never change some people. They're just some people are institutionalized in their thinking. They won't think the way that KBB wants them to think for whatever reason. You know, it's difficult to break old habits. I get that. I spent years, and everyone else that's successful in the academy has spent years doing the wrong things. But at some point, you know, it's time to fucking wake up in it and go, come on, fuck me. You know, if 2025 hasn't been the year that you wanted it to be, then have a think right now. Do you know what I mean? Have a think and take your head for a wobble a little bit and be like, come on, what am I going to do in 2026 to shake this up a bit? Because you haven't got to be very clever to see what's going on around you. Look at AI, look at the government. If you're not positioned, should we say, for consumers to look at you and take you seriously, over the next 5 years, you're going to get a lot poorer. So let me make something clear to trade partners and academy members alike. If you're struggling now, financially, mentally, whatever it is, I can guarantee that unless you get a grip of this in the next 6 to 12 months, your situation is going to deteriorate even further, because nobody is coming to save you. The fucking AI ain't coming to save you, and the government ain't coming to save you. And they are the two forces at the moment that are shaping your future. Now, that when I say that they're shaping your future, I say that because you're not shaping your future. You know, if you decide to shape your future, then you shape your future. But some people are just like flags in the wind, hoping the fucking wind blows in the right direction and things work out. Them days are fucking gone, mate. You know, the days of putting an ad in the Yellow Pages and the phone rings and everything's okay and business just keeps on coming in are fucking gone. You know, they are gone. They're gone, gone, gone. Just forget it. And it's getting harder and harder and harder to compete. So the academy is there, and the trade partner program, whatever it is, you know, you're tapping into at the moment. But when you're out here on the edge and not quite engaging with it properly, you are vulnerable, because you might be okay. Do you get what I mean? But okay, let's define what okay means. You know, we said, well, over a year or two ago now, when I first started saying to people, you can earn 10 grand a month fitting to your kitchens, and I got called all sorts saying that's bullshit, can't do it. Now, when you go into the interviews that we've been having recently and watch them on a Sunday night, and if you don't know what I mean, go to our YouTube channel and subscribe to it. You'll get notified when we go live. So YouTube, just type in KBB Academy, subscribe to the YouTube channel, press the bell icon, and you'll get notified every time something's happening on there. Obviously, these streams are put on there. The clinics are put on there. These interviews are on there. So make sure you do that. And while you're at it, if I'll come on to that in a minute, actually. So with these interviews, when we're talking about the 10K a month fitting 2 kitchens, people are like, that's bollocks, not possible. You've obviously got the Know Your Numbers calculator on the Trade Partners website, which again, I'm not going to go into that now. But in that video, I demonstrate how that is possible. And loads of people have done it since. And you know, they are earning the 10K. I'd show you how this calculation works out, fitting the two kitchens. And, you know, they've just got there easily. They're just happening for them now. And everyone in a circle that's coming is at that point. Most of them are beyond that point now. But the point being is that, you know, doing okay, let's just review what doing okay is. Because in this world right now, you know, there's a window of opportunity here to establish yourself and be taken really seriously, not as a fitter who gets paid for wages and fitting other people's kitchens, as a proper business locally, because that's what you are. You know, the academy is not complicated. Yes, there's more work to it. Yes, there's periods of stress. Yes, sometimes you think, what the fuck? But the point is, in the end, it works out. Everyone that's been on that path hasn't regretted it. Trust me, you know, when they push through and they get it done, it's worth it. And, you know, I'm just trying to hammer this home because there's so many of you are vulnerable right now. You're really, really vulnerable. And you may not see it, but, you know, the way that tax laws are tightening up. So, you know, when you look at these things and you think, yeah, all right, you can doomsday it all you want. You know, the world's going to fucking end. It's all going to be shit. But there will always be people with money to spend. Well, there's less of them now that everyone's fucking off and leaving the country. But, you know, that's another issue. So the point I'm trying to make here is that there's going to be less people with money, and people are going to get a bit tighter, and there's going to be less people to go with. This is going to shape the industry quite a lot over the next few years. And I think the big boys are at a huge risk here, you know, for many reasons, you know, because they carry a lot of costs. The people are just turning savvy to the way they operate. Whereas you guys, who are the single sole traders, small teams, are the people that customers want to really do business with, but you're just not putting yourselves out there in the right way. So even if you're in the academy, some of you aren't doing that the right way, you know. So this is the wake-up call now. You ain't going to rescue this year. I was saying in October you weren't going to rescue this year. You definitely ain't fucking rescuing it on the 10th of December. So now's time to have a really serious, long, hard think about what you're doing for the next few weeks. Stay out the pub if you can. Get your head into what's happening next year and start thinking that the way that the world's operating right now isn't going to be the way it operates in a couple of years' time. And however you're getting by or surviving at the moment is going to change. So, you know, it is definitely going to change. So I want to sort of put that out there early doors, that 2026 is going to come quick. We're going to be there in 3 weeks' time. We're going to be at the event 2 weeks later. So the 16th of January is when the event is. So put that in your diary. If you're an Academy member, put it in your diary. We will make extra tickets available. There will be a new service launched on the day, as we sometimes do. We don't always, but there will be something launched on the day that I think most people will want to do, whether they're doing it or not. And it's around social media. There's no big secret. It's around social media. We're going to launch a social media service because there's a number of reasons why we do these things, by the way. Because even if you're doing it, like the people in a circle level, like shouldn't be doing certain things. So when you get busy, there's certain things that you just shouldn't be doing. You know, like, could you imagine me doing some tasks that are things that I shouldn't be doing? Because I'm running a fucking business, you know, like cleaning the fucking cars in the car park. Do you get what I mean? Like, I know that's an extreme example, but you get what I'm saying. There's certain things that when you get to a certain level, you stop doing because your time becomes more valuable. And this is a mental thing that we'll struggle with, especially as tradespeople, and even I've struggled with it loads of times, even recently. But this is just part of our human nature to want to do loads of things ourselves. And when we are burying ourselves under mundane tasks. So that's why we sort of, the inner circle people are going to find out a lot more about this when they come to the meeting in a few weeks' time, because this is what we're going to be, not social media, but, you know, this whole mindset around doing the right things and only focusing on the right things is a lot of what Inner Circle is going to be about, making sure that people's brains are tuned in to thinking like business people and not trade people. But these services that we launched, like Academy Plus with the blogs, case studies, all that shit, it's dead cheap. It's fuck all for what you're getting. But the point of it was just to take that bit of work off you so you've got more time to do other things. You know, and that's what we're always looking to try and do and go, you know, even people that have got time and have got money still don't do the social media, and it costs them a lot. You know, like we look at people's conversion rates sometimes because the date. And by the way, we don't launch a service to make more money, if that makes sense, because we don't make money on Academy Plus. We don't make. Look at the price of it. Fucking hell. Do you know what I mean? You can't make money on stuff like that. Obviously, we get our pay through selling the product. Do you get what I mean? So that's how it works. So, but what we look at, data-driven analysis tells us that, hang on, if that person was actually doing the fucking social media better or properly or at all, they would be converting more sales. Do you see what I mean? So that's how we look at things. We look at it and go, well, if we help them people do this, then they'll buy more stuff, and that's how the ecosystem works. That's why the Academy subscriptions and the services can be really low priced, because it's basically covering the bare cost minimum to fucking do the work to get the reward later. If that makes sense. So yeah, that's why the Academy subscriptions are really low and, you know, affordable. And as we said at the last event, those that were paying attention, is that people that are paying for the highest membership levels in the Academy, a few £100, it's less than what they were spending on marketing before. So the Academy is actually becoming cost neutral, you know, and we need to look at these services. I don't think we'll launch many more. I think we're at a saturation point now where I don't think there's many more things we could do for you. But I think once we've got this bit out the way in January, when we launch this new service, which will be limited, by the way, there's no way on earth that we can take on every single Academy member for these new services. There won't be an Academy Plus offer at the next event. Again, you know, additional pages to your websites and stuff like that. You should be looking at them anyway. You should be offering as many services as you possibly can, and your Academy Plus, you know, because you might look at it and go, it's a bit more money, but you got to think of the time and the value. You know, the point is, these are things that are coming off your plate and expanding your earning capabilities. And if you want to be serious in, you know, look to the future and go, I want as much time as possible to spend going after customers. I don't want to spend time fucking writing blogs, case studies, doing search engine optimization, posting on fucking social media. Yes, you still have to do some of it, but we can take a lot of it away. And that just gives you the freedom to get out in that world and make the person of yourself that you want to be and the business that you want to have, you know. Whereas if you don't have this help and support, it's going to be a lot fucking more difficult. So again, that offer will be launched at the event. It will be limited numbers because obviously it's going to be a new service. As always, they have problems when they first start. We're getting better at it, but no matter how well you try and plan for something, there's always something that fucking goes wrong, as you always know. So yeah, that's that. Get that date in the diary. The text message will come out shortly, so you know, get it booked. Don't piss around. If you're an Academy member, you just need to be at these events at the moment. It's such a critical time in your businesses and lives that you just can't afford not to be in that room. The more, because I've seen the impact so many times of people that are at the events. Like there was a standout. I think it's Rob. You won't mind me saying, you know, I'm not going to go into loads of detail, but you know, he was at the event last time and he had some concerns, and you know, we had a chat in private, and he had a lot going on in his life, and he was at the event. And it meant a lot to him to be there. We had 2 conversations on the day. Rob Stevenson, from memory. There's a few Robs, you see. It's the surnames that I get mixed up on. But Rob Stevenson, Phoenix. It's Phoenix anyway. So, yeah, the point being is that I do believe, and he will back me up or not on this in the comments, but I'm putting it out there that, you know, that event, I think since then, the way that he's gone at it and the way that he's changed things is just amazing. And I just don't think he would have done that. And it's like, you know, the story with Chris Sprawling from the July event where he wasn't going to come. And then, you know, he's now on the inner circle list. From doing fuck all in June to now, he's made it onto the inner circle list. Like, how do you know, in a few months' time, this is what I'm saying, that people, when they engage and they just go into it fucking hard, and they don't piss around, they don't second guess themselves, they don't overthink, you know, and they get the help and support. The common denominator with these people, as we always say, is they speak to us. If they got a problem, they come to us and we work through it with them. You know, we can't solve everyone's problems for them, but we can definitely give them an arm around the shoulder. You know, let them know that we're there for them. Give them some advice, because that's all you need half the time. You just need to know that you're understood and that you're not alone. And yeah, you can do this. You know, that is the main fucking thing here, that you can do it, and it isn't that difficult. It really isn't. So again, I know I've rambled on about the event quite a lot, but I really need to hammer home for Academy members, especially, that, you know, you just really can't afford to miss these events at the moment. Whether you're doing good or bad, don't sit there going, well, I'm doing all right, I don't need to come, I don't know it all. That's even worse than people that are doing shit and don't come. Do you get what I mean? Because the arrogance and the laziness are equally as bad. They will both lead to the same point, which is failure eventually. Do you know what I mean? Being engaged, being humble, listening, learning, rinse and repeat, you know, until you're a master at it. And even then, you're still engaged. You know, you just don't stop this journey. Okay? So get to the event, get that ticket booked as soon as that message comes through. Okay? And we'll open up enough seats, hopefully. So, right, that's that. You'll notice as well that I'm putting some stuff out on social media at the moment. So I have noticed a few of you are joining. You're trying to add me as a friend on my Aaron Dronsfield account. That's not the right account. I'm not using that. So it's Aaron Lee Dronsfield. I think it's Aaron _Lee _Dronsfield. I'll put a link in the chat or something, or in the WhatsApp group as soon as when they get 5. Sorry. So follow me on that one, because I don't want you to think I'm being rude because I've seen the other one. So no point in accepting that, because you need to be joining me on the other one. So join me on the other one. Yeah, on the Aaron Lee Dronsfield. I'm on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok. And what I'm going to be putting out there is just business stuff. I'm going to be putting business stuff out there. So follow me, follow along. You know, let's engage on these platforms as well. You know, because again, it's just getting that community going again. Let's get it going out there. You know, and let's get things happening. Let's let other people know that we are all successful together and that we're building something special. You know, give them a bit of FOMO. Not that we want like loads of people. You know as well as I do that this is only for the right people. You know, this isn't a recruitment drive. This is, you know, the Academy is about the right people, not everyone. But again, follow me. Make sure that you're engaging if you see something that you like. Okay. Right. So moving on. So I'm going to go through. So sorry if you're a trade partner and you've heard me rambling on about the Academy and giving them a lot of bollocking for the last 20 minutes. But it needs to be said. These things are important. So onto the KBB Supply Services stuff, the trade account stuff, right? Price increases. At the moment, we've got 5% up on the kitchens approximately. It'll vary slightly across different ranges. I mean, it's a fucking nightmare. But it's around 5%. It's just under 5%, but it's, you know, for argument's sake, it's 5%. Nothing else is confirmed yet in terms of increases on bathrooms or anything like that. Nothing's been mentioned with that. So business as usual there. So make sure, again, you're not too late to be ringing your customers up and say, come on, do you want to put your deposit down? Do you want to get your sale over the line? And here's a tip if you're going to do that, by the way. Give the customer the number that the price is, that the quote is going to increase by. There is a bit of a risk here, obviously, because you could put them off and you could turn them away in the new year. So you do have to pick the right ones. I'd probably do it with the ones that you're not bothered about losing because it might backfire a little bit. But what I used to do was send them an email saying, you know, if after the 1st of January, or whatever date it is, probably 10 days or something, probably not that long now. But if you say, well, if you tell me after this date that you want to go ahead, this is the figure extra that it will be next year. So obviously, can you please, if you want to do it, try and let me know as soon as you can. Maybe we could even just get the materials paid for or something like that, and we can split a deposit. I don't know. Do you know what I mean? It's sales at the end of the day. That's what you want to do. You want to be getting into sales mode. Bank account full, supply pipeline full. Okay. So that's your price increases. Obviously, this is the last stream that I'll be doing now. We normally do one on a daft date around Christmas that's not on a Wednesday, but like the dates fall shit this year. So I think we're just going to kibosh it on the next one, because I think it's like Christmas Day or Christmas Eve. So I think you'll have better things to do than watch me then. So we won't be doing one. So we'll be kicking back off with this stream on the 7th. I will be doing the let me have a look at my diary here actually. So where are we now? 10th, so 17th next week. We'll have a clinic next week. The week after is the 24th. Won't be doing that. And then the week after that's fucking New Year's Eve. So like, it's just pointless doing a clinic. And who's going to be sending me a check-in in over that time? Fucking no one. So if you do, we'll be kicking back off with the streams on the 7th, and then the first clinic will be on the 14th. If I do get any check-ins or any urgent things, I'll make sure that I reply to you anyway. So again, the clinic is usually for entertainment purposes, to be honest. It's just to give you the stuff that is interesting for what's going on in other people's businesses and lives and topics that are being brought up. Not every check-in gets on the clinic. Some people don't want them on the clinic. Sometimes it's not suitable for the clinic. Sometimes it's boring. Do you know what I mean? It's not always the right sort of stuff, but the ones that are worth mentioning and the people that I want to give public praise to or kick-ins, they're the ones that get onto the clinic. So we're not really going to change the process next year for the clinics. I'm quite liking the way they're going at the moment. This stream, however, I might mix up a little bit because I feel like this is becoming, or should be, the KBB Supply Services stream, and that should be the clinic, should be the academy stream, if you get what I mean. Now, I know that everyone watches, most people watch both, and that's the way it really needs to be. So we won't make anything drastically we won't change anything drastic in the short term, but what we would be interested in is your feedback on what you think is what you'd like to see on the streams. Is the stuff that we're not doing that you'd like to see? Give us some feedback. If you're going to do it, don't stick it in the comments below. Please use your WhatsApp groups, because the comments on YouTube, for some reason, keep disappearing at the end of the stream. So if you put stuff in the comments now, we probably won't see it, because once the stream ends, the comments are going for some reason. I don't know why that's happening, but it's a bit annoying. So if you've got suggestions, obviously you can talk in the comments now, it's fine, but it's obviously we want to look back at your suggestions for what to do on these streams. So please use your WhatsApp groups for that if you can. And like I say, we'll be basically having a break now. After the next clinic next week, we'll be having a break for 2 weeks. It'll be 4 weeks, won't it, realistically? So, so that's the stream. Price increases. Closure dates, obviously, this is another one that you'll need to know. So the last day that we're in is the 22nd of December. And this is KBB Supply Services. Obviously, me and Lee will be in the WhatsApp groups, as we always are. It's normal. So, and then we'll be back in on the Friday, the 2nd. Or they will be back in on Friday. Is it the 2nd? Oh, 1 minute. I'm in fucking February. Well done. Right, yeah. So the 2nd is the Friday. So again, if anything really urgent comes in, we will monitor the inboxes. If you have any issues, let us know. As normal, don't wait until then. We will look at the WhatsApp chats and see if there's any urgent issues. People will still be monitoring things for any emergencies. But for usual designs and orders, deliveries and stuff like that, they're your dates. 22nd of December. Back in on Friday the 2nd. So moving on then. So just while we're on I'll come back to that in a sec. Brochures. So brochures, you can start ordering your new brochures from next week. So what we're doing is so branded brochures, so what I've asked for on the branded brochures, so I know that a lot of you order, everybody should be ordering branded brochures. I mean, if you haven't got branded brochures right now, go and punch yourself in the face, because if you're turning up for surveys without branded brochures representing your brand, I mean, fucking hell, in the academy, like I can't believe sometimes that some people I don't fucking get it. I don't get it. Even people that are fairly advanced in the academy sometimes turn around and go, "Oh, I still don't know the difference between markup and margin. I still don't know the difference between this, and I still haven't ordered branded brochures." And like, fucking hell. Like, and I know this is a tangent, but please order fucking branded brochures for God's sake. It's not a money making machine for us at all. It's another ball ache that we do because it's something that's really good for converting sales for you, and the positive news I was trying to break here around the branded brochures before I went off on one was that we are now giving you extra covers. So there will be multiple options on the type of cover that you have. So I know at the minute everyone's got the same cover. So we've got some sexier options that look a bit more premium. We've got some more middle of the road looks. Do you get what I mean? So basically, when you order branded brochures from now on, the point I was just going to make was when you order branded brochures from now on, you get a option of what cover you want, which is something that I've asked for to be done. So we've got a few different options, so something that matches your brand a bit better. But obviously the tangent that I went on slightly, or I'm about to continue with, was making sure that you have got them, and when you're turning up to customers' houses, you're fucking using them. That positions you with your branded brochures is so much better. So much better when they see your logo with your bro. Oh, okay, this is nice. Because psychologically, this is saying it's a fucking serious company. This, do you know what I mean? The trust level goes boom, and to turn up without it, I just feel like fuck. You might. I don't know. I'm not going to fucking go on about it. It's the last stream of the year. Let's stay friends. Let's not fall out because that really gets my blood boiling, and I don't want to ruin Christmas for everyone. So let's move on. Order your fucking brochures. Right, so new range. We've got the new ranges will be out in the brochure. I'm reading notes that have been sent from the team. So new ranges will be out in the new brochure. So the new ranges that I promised you in October that didn't come in October, made me look like a right dick, are coming in January. So product orders can start from the 9th of February, which basically means that once you've got the new brochures, and what that will also mean is that these new ranges are added to your websites. So you'll be able to demonstrate these new ranges to your customers via your website, via your brochures. So that's what I'm saying. Wait until this update has happened, which is next week, and then order your branded brochures, which, to be fair, if you order them now, we'll hold them anyway until the new brochures are ready. So if you order your brochures now, you obviously pick your cover. Again, let's get ready for 2026. Get the brochures ordered now. Make sure that you are heading into 2026 with them brochures, with the new ranges in, that'll be on your website as soon as the updates are finished. And, you can then, orders can start from the 9th of February. So as long as a customer doesn't need the products before the 9th of Feb, which, let's face it, that's not going to happen, is it? So, you just work with it, don't you? You go, that's when the product's available from. But between now and then, you're not going to get anything delivered anyway. So now's time to start pushing them new ranges as soon as they arrive. I believe the pricing is good. To be honest with you, I haven't properly gone into it. All I've heard is it's cheaper. That's it. Yeah, that's great, helpful, but the cheaper. But the usage of these products will be a lot better. So in terms of, we can use them for kitchens, bedrooms, media walls, which obviously you've heard me last time talk about the amount of work we're doing on bedrooms and media walls, the brochures that we're going to do. And there's loads more stuff coming down the track with media walls and bedrooms. There's loads to be excited about there. But again, yeah, so get your brochures ordered. New products will be in them. Deliveries available from the 9th of Feb. There will be some discontinuations as well, I believe. Not much. I don't think it's usually the stuff that no fucker buys anyway, so I wouldn't worry too much about that. If there was any discontinuations on one of your orders, you would have been told. Okay, but the brochures and your websites will be updated accordingly, so look out for that. The other thing as well, what I want to make sure that you've got is the app. So the KBB Supply Services mobile app. We're always working on that app, and I've made the decision now that app needs to be the center of everything. Because, in the 21st century, we need apps. The app is where it's at. So we're going to be making sure that the app has got absolutely everything in it. So again, we would appreciate your feedback on the app The app is basic. It's supposed to be basic. We don't need a complicated app. We just need a resource in our pocket to be able to do everything. Yeah. Yes, the trade portal is really clunky on a mobile device, but no quoting and ordering system ever works on a mobile device. So it's not like we're not going to pursue that, because you're never going to want to do something like that on your mobile. You know, if you're doing a quote, you're doing it properly. You want to have a computer like with your screens, don't you? You want your quote here, your brochure there, and your portal there, so you can copy and paste the things. Do you know what I mean? You need a proper workspace to do stuff like that. So I don't want to hear things like, "Oh, the portal looks shit on the app." I know it looks shit on the app, and it always will. So, and why the fuck are you trying to use it on the app? You know, that would be my question: is that get behind your laptop and do it properly. But make sure that the app is suiting your needs. What is missing from that app? What could be improved? Again, there are limitations to them, but we would also, again, respect and appreciate any response you can put into your WhatsApp group to say, it'd be nice to have this in the app and we can sort of talk it through. Because again, we always mold the business around you. You know, everything that's been built to date has been built because you needed it and then you asked for it and we built it at great expense. So, it will always continue to do that. But if you don't give us the feedback, we don't know what the fuck we're doing. Because not that we haven't got ideas of our own, but all the tools now are sort of there. We are at that point with the development of this business and this ecosystem where your feedback is critical now, because there's not many more things we can build. It's just refining what's there now over the next few years. And that's not going to happen unless we all speak about it properly. Okay. And just while we're on the app as well, in the app, you will notice there is a report an issue button. So if you have an issue, please use that. What happens is, let me just talk you through this process. So when you report an issue in the app, it goes through to our team. So everyone gets notification, right? So putting it in the WhatsApp group with me and Lee doesn't make it happen any faster. Now, I understand when you're frustrated and you've put it in the design group and you feel, that's not fucking happening fast enough and I want to have a whinge, or fucking stick it in there, Aaron and Lee. I get what you're trying to do and I get it, but it's also not going to help because we do see the issues that are going on, believe it or not. We do look at things in the background and we have visibility. Blasting it into our WhatsApp group as well isn't going to do much at the end of the day. We're not, if you want to whinge, have a whinge. That's different, right? We accept that people want to whinge sometimes and shit goes wrong and whatnot. But the WhatsApp groups, the 12 Steps coaching groups are for 12 Steps coaching. That's why it's called 12 Steps coaching. So when I see that ping up, they're the only groups that I'm in now on my phone. I've got access to it on my computer with all the other groups and the data and everything that I need to look at. But when I'm out and about, so I just feel like we're getting a bit clogged up again with people asking delivery information, product information, and it's not, me and Lee don't have that information. We are not the people to ask. We haven't got access to anything there. All right, even the product knowledge, to be fair, you've got Tom, John, the whole team, the designers, Luke, there's loads of them in there, Helen, they know all these things, and then they've got the support of the supply chain to get technical information and stuff like that. So it almost will delay things as well, like waiting for me and Lee to respond, because half the time we don't know. We've got to go and ask the person that you would ask. Do you get what I mean? I just want to put that over in the right way, because I feel like it's just a bit pointless, and we want to make there's WhatsApp groups for all sorts. There's stuff in the app to report problems. All right, if it's 10 o'clock at night or a Saturday or a Sunday, you were just going to have to wait until business opens again. Do you know what I mean? That is just the way the world is. But somebody will get back to you. If you have got a serious complaint, fair enough. But if it's just, I don't know, something trivial in the grand scheme of things, like, just try to have the respect for that group. That coaching group is for coaching, it's for your business development. It's not for, is this cab available in Oakham? Fucking hell, I don't fucking know. Do you know what I mean? It's like, you're just wasting time here for you and us, because you're not going to get the answer you fucking want. We've got to type a response, then you've got to go and type it again somewhere. It's like, just know what WhatsApp groups that you're using for. Website and CRM WhatsApp group. If I've got a problem with website or CRM, or when you're onboarding, that's the group you use. If you want business advice, knowledge, anything around the 12 steps, use the one with me and Lee. If you've got a problem with your job, use your design group or report it in the app. So go, right, I've got a delivery problem on site. That design group and the reporting it in the app practically goes to the same place. Behind the scenes, that technology is all linked together. So as soon as somebody is sat at their desk, they're going to see it and they're going to deal with it. Yeah, trust me, they'll deal with it. If you've got a serious concern, you want to speak to me and Lee off the record, it's okay. But don't clog the WhatsApp groups up with general inquiries about stuff that we literally can't help you with at that moment, and it's just a waste of time, okay? Moving on. Interviews. So we've got the interviews coming up. So we're nearly done. I remember the October event was when we started these interviews, and there was like 9 or 10 of them to do. So people that are watching these interviews on the Sunday are finding them really helpful, like really, really enjoying them. We're getting loads of nice comments and feedback. So again, always let us know the comments and feedback around that if you're enjoying them, anything that you took from them. The amount of learning that I took from these interviews is immense because, it's just loads of stuff. Just confirmation of a lot of things, I would say, more than learning, but understanding, like, the impact it has on people's lives. Because, I suppose we take it for granted a little bit what we're building and what we're doing because we're focused on the next 5 years. Sometimes we're not good, are we, at stopping and understanding how far we've come sometimes and the impact that it has on people. So the interviews have been really good for everybody in the business and for you lot as well, because, you're all the same. We're all the same. I say we are all the same. We're all people just trying to provide and survive. And at the end of the day, the Academy is allowing us to do that in a special way that without it, well, put it this way, if I had not built this ecosystem for myself years ago, I fucking dread to think where I would have ended up. You just don't know, do you? And I know that some people will be in the Academy going, fucking hell, what would have actually have happened to me over the next 10 years if I hadn't have done this? And people have told me that. People have said, I just don't know what I would have done without this. And I get it. Do you know what I mean? Because I don't know what I would have fucking done without what I did. You know what I mean? And obviously I took a much harder road to build the fucker and live off it for a few years before I give it to everybody else, which wasn't known I was going to even do that at the time. But yeah, the interviews really opened my eyes to this, and I don't know, probably made us as a team feel a bit more like, fucking hell, it's a big deal, this, isn't it? It's a big deal, when you think about it. That doesn't mean we get complacent, and it doesn't mean that we take anything for granted. It's just a recognition that on a Sunday night for the last few weeks, we've been able to sit there and go, you know what, fair play, fair play. Everyone's fucking done what they've needed to do here, the ones that have done it, and, fucking just fair play to everyone, really. So the last interview that we're going to air is on this Sunday. And then there's going to be an interview with myself. So I have done an interview as well. And I think we'll put that out just to stay with tradition. We'll still put it out on the Sunday at 8 o'clock. So it won't be this Sunday, it'll be the Sunday after. And that interview is like almost like warts and all. Lee interviewed me, and we went deep. It was interesting just to be asked the questions and to answer them and hear myself speak about them and watch the interview back and go, fucking hell, there's some deep shit in there. That's good, because when it's deep, it doesn't stop. There's a fuel burning in here that's not going to stop. It isn't. So it's good to see that, there's other people now walking in those footsteps, let's just say, that are having the break in life that they deserve, and the Academy is the thing that's doing it for them. But, it's still early days. It's still very, 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 very early days for the Academy. When you think about it, it's only 2 or 3 years old, 3 years old. I can't fucking know. 2022. I don't know when it was. Was it 23? 23, 24, 25. it's about 3 or 4 years since we launched the first. It wasn't even called the Academy at first. It was just we just offered websites, and we just sort of started doing bits of coaching and small groups, and it's like, fucking hell, it just started to gather momentum, which tells you everything you need to know about the problem we've got in the industry and what's going on in between people's ears with this, because there's some serious issues in this world, and it isn't rigged in our favor most of the time. I think we all know that, but I really do feel like the Academy has leveled the playing field in terms of it's accessible this now. The money that you were never ever going to get at before, and the recognition was just never coming. There was too many things to stitch together. There's two, and obviously it sounds like I'm giving myself credit here because I did stitch them all together, but fucking hell, it was a dedication. It was a learning curve. It was fucking hard. It was, watching my first business fail, sitting in the liquidator's office, humiliated, paying, nearly selling my house to fucking keep going. And, just the shit that you think that you've been through. And, I think that's where a bit of my annoyance comes with people when they can't be asked, because I think, you're going on like you've got problems. You haven't got a fucking clue. Do you know what I mean? Like, you haven't got a fucking clue half the time. It's been a fucking mad ass. And I'm not saying that people can't have genuine problems, and I know people do have genuine problems. I fucking know for a fact they do. But as always, there's a point where you got to draw a fucking line under it. At some point, you got to draw a fucking line under it and go, come on, how long are we going to dine out on this fucking problem for? And I talk about this in the interview. So if you want more on what I've just said, make sure that you tune in a week on Sunday at 8:00, where I will go to town on these subjects, let's just say. And I think you'll find it entertaining. And I think you'll find it deep, because I think that we've never, obviously I do these lives and stuff, but I can't go on, we don't go deep, properly into it. We sort of like skim the surface. We go a little bit, and then we sort of have to pull back, though, because we've only got limited time, and obviously at events we sort of dabble with the story, but we don't go all the way. I feel like that interview went all the way on many things, and I think you'll find it interesting. I think it'll give you a lot of insight into myself as well, because I think there's a few things that you won't know, and it'll be interesting to get your feedback after that event and see what you think. I'm looking forward to you seeing it, because I think that it should inspire you as well. It should inspire. I don't want to use that word because it sounds like you're blowing smoke up your own ass, but it should inspire you to be like, fucking hell, I can do this. Which is what I'm always trying to do. I only tell you things and say things to get something going inside you where you go, I can do this. Because some people believe they fucking can't. And that is the fucking problem, that they just sat there going, I can't. They're making an excuse why they can't do it. And ultimately, that excuse is just an illusion. It's bullshit. So, right. Thank you for making 2025 yet another interesting but challenging year. I'm going to close it off now because it's time to go. We have had a good year. All of us, most of us. If we haven't had a good year, get in the Academy. That's all I can really say. Get in the Academy, get to the events, get engaged, do what you need to do, make the money that you deserve, build the life you want, and just keep going. Make 2026 and beyond what you want it to be, and stop procrastinating on it. Okay, so I'll see you in the clinic next week. As far as this stream is concerned, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year. See you in 2026, and for the other stream, the Business Coaching Clinic, I will see you next Wednesday. Good evening, guys. Take care. Ta-ta. Bye-bye.